Okay, we're live.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spanish and Medicine 2022 open house. I see a few of you are just hopping on, so we will begin in about half a minute or so, just giving you a couple of seconds to hop on to our presentation tonight. Again, it's the Spanish and Medicine 2022 program open house with shadowing opportunities in Latin America. We are currently live, and my staff and I are in Chile in South America. So we are really happy to have you all with us today. I see a few of you are still hopping on. We will begin shortly. If you have any questions as we go along, the chat box is open and our staff is ready to answer any and all of your questions. If time permits, we'll read some of them on live and answer your questions. But for the most part, I'm going to try to get you as much information as possible this evening so that we can provide you with all the necessary information for you to look at our program and make an informed decision as well. Okay, so again, it's a Spanish and Medicine 2022 program. You should have a welcome message in your chat box now or shortly, and you can write again your questions there as we start. Okay, so let's begin quickly then so that I don't take up too much of your time this afternoon. I want to thank our staff for being here today with us. We have Karen, Sandra, and Cassandra. Hola, chicas. There they are. And so I'll just introduce them. Karen is currently in Chile as well, in the very, very far south in Puerto Natales, really close to the Antarctic, so nice and cold, but I'm sure she's keeping warm with probably an open fire over there, really nice. Karen, as I said, is currently in the south of Chile, but she comes from Australia, so she knows very well what it's like to come to a country to learn about the culture and pick up the language as well. Sandra is in Santiago, the capital city of Chile. And Sandra is also an avid traveler. She used to work on a cruise ship. Isn't that amazing? And she's a photographer. She's an artist. But she has traveled around the world and knows exactly what it's like to be a foreigner in another country, what it's like to sometimes not speak the language or have a little bit of trouble communicating. So she's got a lot of experience with that she can share with you as well. And Cassandra Brooks is here as well. Hola, Cassandra. Cassandra is out of Valparaíso, a UNESCO city right next to Viña del Mar, where one of our schools is located. And Cassandra comes from Scotland, and she's been in Chile for quite a while now. So Cassandra has the experience as well as the opposite of what immigrants have in the US, right? So she came to Chile as an immigrant and was able to sort of experience all of the difficulty in the language gap, but the other way around. So she can share that information with you as well. Also here with me today is Carolina Bustamante. Hola, Caro. There she is, and she's helping me with the technical end of things. I'm not very technical, so hopefully the staff, all of the staff will help me read out some questions if we have time later on in the presentation. Carolina's family lives in the States, so she travels back and forth a lot. In her family, like I said, they live there, and they've also been able to experience the difficulties in the language gap, especially in healthcare, as her family has also had to deal with some medical issues. Carolina has been privy to the situation that's lived by some immigrants in the United States with the language gap crisis. My name's Patty. I'm the program director. I'll be your cruise director for tonight, and hopefully answering all of your questions. I grew up in Toronto, Canada, but I've been living in Chile for almost 10 years now as well. So a little bit of both. My children lived one end and the other of the situation as well, and hopefully I can share some of my experiences with you as well. All right, so that's us, that's our staff, and I want to start tonight by talking about the elephant in the room, and that's really COVID. I know a lot of you are concerned about what's going on with COVID. Currently, I'm going to talk about the current situation in Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Peru, where our schools are located. There are still restrictions. You could say that we're about 3 months behind what's going on in the US. You are starting, or you're in summertime right now. We're in winter, so think about what the COVID situation was like in the winter for you. That's similar to what's happening in Latin America, in South America right now. So we do have some restrictions. You know, we're keeping social distance. Face masks must be worn at all times in public places. We have to sanitize our classrooms frequently, so breaks are more often than not. And we do provide hand sanitizer, and everyone carries that around, I think, like in every part of the world. A couple of our schools are closed right now, but this is going to change very quickly, we believe, because the vaccination process is beginning. For example, in Chile, we were informed that we're at about 80% of the target population being vaccinated. So we're really happy about that. And the other countries are following close behind. So by the time the 2022 program happens, we are quite sure that the situation will be quite different than it is today. We have every reason to believe that restrictions will be at minimum by next year. Okay, so we're quite forward in the situation right now, but we believe that a year from now, when this program takes place, or a little over a year from now, the precautions will be minimum, and the situation will be much more open. All right. If anybody has any questions with regards to COVID currently, we can surely inform you of that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what this program is all about. This is a AAMC compliant program, which means any experiences that you have, field experiences, shadowing, is hands off. All right. Our core program is Spanish. All right, that means we want to get you as fluent as possible so that you're better able to take care of your future patients. And the core program includes 3 Spanish courses. That means you'll go up 3 levels during your stay with the program. So let's say you're starting from Spanish 101. That'll take you to Spanish 101, finishing at Spanish 201. So that includes the 3 courses: 201, 102, and 101 if you look at it backwards, or 101, 102, and 201 if you go forward. I don't know why I did that backwards. All right. Also, we have some extras that we call, okay? These extras are experiences that we add in addition to our core program. The Spanish course is medical shadowing, healthcare research project, and some volunteer opportunities for you to experience the culture, because we believe that the language and culture go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, we say. So it's very interesting to understand how all of this works together. The classes are offered from Spanish 101 all the way to 302. So if you're an absolute beginner or you're taking more advanced classes, those are available for you as well. If you are a heritage speaker, we have a heritage program available. And if you're an advanced learner, there are some courses that could be available for you. So please go ahead and ask your advisors about those. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are. So you can get to know us a little bit better. Our first program started in 2002. Back then we started with 3 students only, and all 3 students were from Chicago. So we called that group the Chicago Hope Group after the TV series, and had lots of fun with them. And here we are, almost 20 years later. We've seen over 800 students go through our program, and we're really proud because we know that these are professionals that are out there today that are able to communicate with their patients. Of course, that's not enough. there is definitely a need for many, many more. But we feel that as a not-for-profit organization, the Shadow Abroad Foundation has a role to play in providing the tools needed for healthcare and healthcare workers and medical students, or pre-med and pre-health students as well, to be able to train not only in the medical area, you know, the physiology, the physical end of things, but also in the human aspect, and just making those two things come together to be able to be the best professionals that you can be, so that you are able not only to treat your patient, you know, on the physical end of things, but also with dignity. And I think that's our goal and the biggest part of our mission. All right, moving along here. So when I'm just going to read this, the slide I have here. It says, when a healthcare provider can speak to the patient in their language, the patient feels like a welcome part of the community. And direct communication creates an important bond with the patient, and that's absolutely true. I've been speaking about the healthcare language gap crisis. And the reason for that is that the US has the second largest Spanish-speaking population in the world, and a lot of people don't realize that number is so large. And so if we're thinking about that, how are these people communicating with one another? Yes, there could be, you know, interpreters and gadgets that we use, but that direct bond that is so important to create with your patients is missing. Right? Not to mention the fact that it must be quite uncomfortable for some people to have another person in the room, an interpreter, another stranger. Not only do you have to open up with your doctor and perhaps a nurse, but also an interpreter, another person. And, you know, feeling part of a welcome part of the community is a big part of that dignity piece that I was speaking about. Right. I know a lot of immigrants do their best to be a part of the community, to blend in, to fit in. They want to, and it's not as easy as it seems sometimes. It could be a matter of time, a difficulty of money, and sometimes even literacy. So there's a lot in play, and there's so many reasons why perhaps an immigrant isn't able to speak English as well as they could. We always say it takes one student to, you know, take that step forward to help hundreds and maybe thousands of patients. When an immigrant learns English, they're only helping themselves. So that's really something else that we put out there for you to consider. I think that a lot of people in the US are realizing that this language gap is really important. And if we look at my slide here on the screen, it says doctors must face today's demographic realities. A Spanish-speaking doctor fills a critical nationwide gap, opening the doors of communication between doctor and patients. And, you know, we've been saying this for quite a few minutes here, but this is also the AMA Journal of Ethics, which means that there are people out there, there are organizations out there that are realizing that this is a problem, this is an issue. And we are working as a not-for-profit organization as well to knock on the doors of a lot more of these organizations to help them see that this is a problem, that we have to deal with it, and we have to address the fact that communication is a big part of healthcare, and that we have to look at communication as a whole. You know, it takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes for a doctor to see each patient, or rather that's how much time they have available. And if they're spending that time, you know, getting on the phone with an interpreter or trying to fix a gadget or trying to get that going, it's time that is lost with a patient. It also cools the relationship. It's not the same, you know, trying to communicate something that's happening to you when you're at your most vulnerable, you're sick, you're ill, you're not sure what's going on. And adding to that, the burden of not being able to communicate is a really difficult situation. So as the Shadow Abroad Foundation, our mission is to prepare professionals for a modern America. A modern America that comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and languages, of course, as well. Okay, and we do this through immersion, through cultural immersion, because as I said in the beginning, we believe that culture and language go hand in hand. And this happens really quickly. This learning, this fluency that you'll be able to pick up happens really quickly because you're immersed in the culture and you're understanding on a daily basis what you're learning in class and seeing it live in real life and being able to use it all day. So that's what changes things. And I think it's wonderful for me to say it, and hopefully I'm providing you with all of the information you need, but I think there isn't anything better than to hear it from your peers. So I'd like to ask Carolina to help me out here. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And I'm going to ask Carolina to prep a video for me, which is a video of some students talking about what it was like for them to take the program. And I think that'll give you a little bit of perspective with regards to how we put this together and what it's actually like in real life. Okay, so these are some of our former students that are going to talk to you about the program. So whenever you're ready, Carolina, just let me know.
This program, it was honestly awesome. You know, you get here and you're so nervous. It was my first time out of the country. I had no idea what to expect, what I was going to be doing, anything. I didn't know any Spanish before I came here. But when I got here, like, everyone was so supportive. I learned Spanish, I feel like, very well. You get here and you're in this entirely new place, and you know, it's like you have to learn Spanish, and you do, because you are immersed.
I chose this program specifically since it combined medicine and Spanish as well, and I'm currently a pre-med student. So this program was really unique that it offered Spanish classes as well as shadowing opportunities, and what I really took out of it was the shadowing opportunities. The school did a really great job of setting all of us up for great doctors to shadow with and to learn.
I love my classes. Classes are awesome, but definitely my favorite part of the program has been actually working and shadowing doctors in the hospitals here. It's awesome experience that you just really can't get in the classroom. Studying Spanish in the classroom is one thing, but actually living it out on the streets and in hospitals with people who, you know, speak it like that's their language. That's a totally different thing.
I was one of the students who was chosen to do a few 12-hour shifts in the emergency room. I saw a lot of really cool things and really excited that I got to do that. I also got to see a few surgeries with a gastroenterologist. So yeah, my experience here has been really great, and I wish I could stay longer, but yeah, everything's been great.
Hola, me llamo Kendall, soy de Dallas, Texas, y estoy estudiando biología y filosofía a la Universidad de Texas at Austin. I really wanted to see what the healthcare system was like in a different country. So my first shadowing experience, I just sat down in the clinic and watched the doctor kind of do his thing. I saw a surgery where they removed the entire gallbladder. I saw a gastric sleeve surgery. It was really, really cool. And it was very awesome to see the dynamic between all the doctors and the patients as well. Like in the clinical setting, it's so different than in the States. My classes at Acela are very small, just a couple of people. We usually talk through a couple different topics using the verbs or the grammar that we're learning that day. We talk about really cool and interesting issues that are happening in the country. The other day we talked about like survival tactics. It's conversations you would have in real life, not just like ordering at a restaurant.
Hola, soy Grace, and I'm studying biology and chemistry at the University of Illinois. I love the classes because it forces you to talk all the time, and that's something that I've never had before in the classroom. And the teachers are super good at kind of hearing the things we're struggling with, so they accommodate you during class with things that we're having a lot of trouble with. And yeah, I've just seen my speaking abilities just skyrocket while being here, and yeah, the teachers are phenomenal. I really like shadowing and just comparing kind of different healthcare systems because I've only seen one in my life, so just seeing the relationships with doctors and patients here, I really like how it's closer, and it's something that I definitely want to strive for, like in my own practice or just experiences at home.
All right, thank you so much, Carolina. Let me just go back to my screen here. Bear with me there. So we heard several of our former students talking about their experience, and I hope that gave you a little bit of insight, a little bit of sort of being able to realize what this program brings to the table. And you heard, for example, that it happens very quickly. Like I said, it's because you are able to use the language skills that you pick up during the day in the afternoon, for example, with your host family or with the locals. So you're not only picking up the language skills that you need, the vocabulary, the grammar, and all of that great stuff, but you're actually using it. And we use an approach that mimics sort of like the natural learning methodology, which is learn by doing. And that includes that cultural empathy that you're going to get with this program, the understanding of why people communicate the way they do. What is the relationship between the patient and the doctor? And that's what the shadowing part is all about, so that you're able to view, not only listen to the vocabulary being used in real life, but also to be able to understand what the relationship between these medical professionals and their patients are. What are they used to? How are they communicating with one another? Where, for example, in Latin America, we're very touchy-feely people. It's very important to us to have a good relationship with our healthcare provider. If not, we find another one. It's really important that we feel that our health provider cares about us, understands who we are, knows us by name, realizes the things that we talk about, asks about our families, and we do the same back with our medical professionals. So you'll see the difference in care, but not only in the relationship, but the healthcare system. As you saw, and you heard some of the students talking about a different healthcare system. How does that work? How does that affect the way that our patients will communicate, or your patients will communicate, your Latin American patients will communicate with you in the future? And that's a big part of what we do. All right. This program also includes a college transcript, so you can stay on track for graduating on time. So imagine that. That's 3 courses in 9 weeks. That's a lot of time saved for you. And if you'd like to use your college transcript for grad school, you're welcome to do that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. We have a short program. You don't need to skip a semester, but if you'd like to take a gap semester or gap year, we also have programs for you. Okay, so like I said, the program, the core of the program and the objective of this program is to get you fluent in Spanish so that you can communicate with your future patients, all of those patients, that huge population of Spanish-speaking patients in the US right now, but also so that you can get that cultural empathy through the shadowing, through the research opportunity, and through volunteering, understand what are the needs of this population. Okay, what is it about this population? So through shadowing, you're understanding the relationships and building on that. In the research project, you're understanding, what diseases are more prevalent. What is the reason for that illness to be more prevalent? For example, if we're talking about hypertension, obesity, diabetes, what is it about this culture that makes those illnesses more prevalent? Are we talking about a social economic factor that is, putting that into play? So there's a lot of information that you will be understanding, but it's all having to do with the culture, with the language. So all of these components will add to your experience so that you are able to pick up that language and that fluency a lot more quickly. Volunteering is also a big part of what we do. It allows you to leave a footprint behind to say, I was here, I did something about this situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the clinical setting, but it allows you to be a part of the community that hosted you. And we feel that that's a really important thing to leave behind, that altruistic nature that a lot of pre-health and pre-med students have. So that's also included for you. This program is going to really do a number on your self-confidence, because a lot of you haven't traveled abroad by yourself, or if you have, you haven't done it for such an extended period of time. So it really builds on that self-confidence, and not to mention the network of people that you're going to meet. These are not only pre-health and pre-med students from all over the United States, but these are your future colleagues as well that you're going to be meeting and having this wonderful experience with. So it's more than just a Spanish program. It has a lot of information that you'll be able to make your own, that you'll be able to use so that you can communicate with your future patients. I see some questions in the chat box. You're going to excuse my eyes are not so good, so I'm going to ask my staff for some help. Can someone read out some of the questions? Oh, okay, Karen, thank you.
I've got a question here from Sharon. She was wondering whether she needs to apply for a special visa to come over to South America.
All right, yeah, that's a great question, Sharon. If you are a citizen of the United States, you do not need a special visa. The countries that our program is held in does not have a special requirement for visas. You will be in each country for 3 weeks. Therefore, a visitor's visa is all that you need, okay? In any case, once you have been accepted into the program and register, you have the support of our staff as well with any questions that you may have regarding that. We always say visit your local embassy to ask for any special things that may come up. But if you are a citizen of the United States, you should not need a visa. If you are a citizen of another part of the world, you can check with our staff or also, again, with your local embassy. Okay, I hope that helps out. Any other questions?
Yeah, Patty.
Okay,
Hi.
Sandra?
Yes, Mike is asking, can I still participate if I'm a beginner?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Mike, our programs start from Spanish 101. So if you're an absolute beginner, if you've never taken a Spanish class before, don't worry, we have your back and you're not the only one. We have very seasoned staff that takes care of everybody. Again, all of the levels are available for everyone. So no need to worry about that portion. Okay, great. Any other questions?
Yes, Patty, we have a question from Daniel. He's asking if what are the shadowing opportunities available and how many hours get dedicated to that?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Like I said, the shadowing that we offer is has the objective of having you learn about the culture through the medical end of things. Okay, we're talking about a minimum of 6 hours per week, and we say 6 hours because it depends on the assignment that you've been given. If you've been given an assignment, let's say with a surgeon, and it just so happens that that surgeon is in surgery and you were booked for 2 hours that day, but the surgery took 4 hours, well, then you're shadowing a little more that week. Okay, so that's the way it works. We do not we don't want you to feel that you're going to be learning about medicine only during the shadowing portion of this program, because you will learn. I mean, there's we can't take that component away. You will be with a medical professional, but you must remember that the main objective here is that you understand how the healthcare system works, how medicine is practiced in another part of the world, and what the relationship between the patients and the healthcare workers is like. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. All right, let's move along because we are are a little short of time. If we have a little more time at the end, we'll take some more questions. I know that some of the questions are around finance, and I actually sort of see when my eyes aren't that great. But first of all, if you'd like to have more information with regards to program costs, you can visit our website at www.spanishandmedicine.com, or you can ask one of our advisors to talk to you about the programs that we have available and the options that we have. But I do want to tell you that we are a not-for-profit organization, so thankfully we're able to upfront the costs for some of our students who have some difficulty paying for their program, and we have a student-friendly 0% interest payment plan that we can offer our students, and that goes directly through us. There isn't a ton of paperwork that you have to do, and we sort of use an honor system, and we trust that you will sort of pay us back for your program. And what we do is we create installments for you to pay your program in, and yeah, so that's a quite simple way of looking at things. We also really want you to be able to find funds for this program, so we have a lot of ideas for you. A good one is to talk to your homeschool advisor about taking the program and asking about you know, what funds, what grants, what scholarships are available to you. We know that through COVID there were several scholarships and grants available that you can just apply for, and a lot of our students have been really successful with that, as well as financial aid also has accepted this program for many of our students. So I would definitely recommend that you do that. As well, we have a few scholarships. We are a not-for-profit organization, so we do not have too many of them, but if you have the requirement, please talk to one of our advisors, and we can see what we can do with the scholarships that are available. They're provided by state. So we have a number of scholarships per state. They run out really quickly, but we do that because we want to make sure that everybody gets a fair chance at our scholarships. So if you are planning to request a scholarship and you're planning to apply to this program, we suggest that you do that quickly, because again, as time goes by and the sooner or the closer we get to the program date, those scholarships run out quickly. But if you are coming to us through AMSA, if you are a member of AMSA, we are also a member of the AMSA Alliance, okay? And we are able to provide an automatic $250 scholarship for all AMSA members, and also an 80% discount on your registration fee, or I'm sorry, your application fee, it should be really. So just for a few more weeks, we have a special, if you are going to apply within the next couple of weeks, see your advisor, because we are going to waive that admission interview fee. That registration fee, all of that is going to be waived for you, and you will also receive the $250 automatic scholarship. All right, so again, if you're a member of AMSA and you're attending this presentation through AMSA, let your advisor know so that we can provide you with that information. I know another question that comes up very often, and especially for those of you who are out there with perhaps a parent or a loved one watching and wondering about safety, we want to tell you that, first of all of our schools in Chile and Argentina and Peru, they're all located in upper middle class neighborhoods. And we do this because we are very aware of the safety concerns that some families have. We understand that, you know, South America sometimes just gets looked at really like a big blur, but the locations that we have selected have a very good sort of track record of safety, as well as even within that, that area, the areas that the schools are in are, again, upper middle class neighborhoods, so that you're able to explore without having to look over your shoulder so often. When you do arrive to the school, you will have an orientation session where we'll tell you all about how to move around the city, where to find the services that you might need, banks, etc. And we talk to you very often about safety as well, so that we're always reminding you and keeping you on track. But really, what I would suggest is that you think about, traveling anywhere in the world. Travel smart, travel safe, be aware of your surroundings, don't carry valuables with you and you'll be fine. Thankfully, we haven't had an issue of safety with our schools. So we're really happy that that is currently a non-issue, but we always say be careful, travel safe and travel smart. The dates are on our website, again, www.spanishandmedicine.com, but here we're listing some of the sessions that are currently open. Winter quarter, or the spring semester, is from January 9th to March 12th. Maymester is May 9th to July 9th. Summer 1, we have 2 start dates, okay? We have May 29th and July 30th. And for summer 1, we have May 29th to July 30th, and summer 2 is June 19th to August 20th. We also have a fall semester quarter starting September 11th through November 12th. And if you are interested in a gap year, you can look at any of the above start dates. And if you have any questions, or if those start dates don't work for you, you can speak to one of our advisors to see if there are any intermediate start dates available for you. Okay, again, if you're looking for a gap year, these are some of the dates, and you can request further information from our advisors as well. If you'd like to be called, or if you'd like further information directly from one of our advisors, we're happy to call you to book a Zoom call, a personal Zoom call with you, with your family, or a phone call if that works better for you. So if you're interested in further details, just send us a note in the chat box with your email address saying, please contact me, or I'd like a Zoom call, and we can definitely do that. I know that there's a lot of questions coming in, and our advisors are looking at them and trying to answer as many as possible, but sometimes we don't get to all of your questions. If we didn't get to your question, we'll try to answer via email. And if we get your contact information, we'll also try to contact you there by Zoom. Again, the 2022 Spanish and Medicine program includes the core program, the Spanish fluency, and it is taking place in Chile, in Argentina, and Peru. So in each country, you will take one of the Spanish courses. So one in Chile, one in Argentina, and one in Peru. Okay, it also includes this medical shadowing, the pluses that we were talking about, travel, healthcare, and research project, and it includes the travel between the locations. So from Chile to Argentina, from Argentina to Peru. And in each location, you will get 4 nights of hotel stay in each location, so you don't have to worry about the first few nights as you arrive to each of the locations. We will also be telling you further when you register about the opportunities for other types of accommodations, or you may choose to find your own. Some students like to stay with host families, others like to stay in Airbnbs. It's really up to you. We're happy to guide you in that respect, but accommodations and flight to your first location and from your last location is up to you. All right, you can find more information about our program on SpanishAndMedicine.com, just like I have it written down at the bottom of our slide here. But again, if you'd like more information and you'd like for us to contact you, please write contact in the chat box, and we're happy to provide you with a call, with an email, or whatever suits you best. Okay, all right, we're right right on time. It said about 35 to 40 minutes for our presentation today. So I hope that I've answered as many questions as I could today. I don't want to take advantage of your time, but I hope that I have provided you with information that will be helpful to make a decision with regards to this program. I also want to thank you for coming here tonight. I want to thank you for looking at a program like ours. I always say, you know, it takes, like I said earlier, it takes one student to take a step forward to say, I want to do this properly. I want to communicate with my patients. I want to give them healthcare with dignity. And that's what we're about. If that's your objective, you've come to the right place. You've definitely come to the right place. And I wanted to also thank you because I am the daughter of immigrant parents myself. And I know exactly what it takes, right? I know the effort that a lot of immigrants put into trying to be a part of that community and how difficult a time they have. And we've seen, you know, lately in the news about the different ethnicities in the United States and how they're having a bit of a hard time. So anybody joining us today is understanding that there is a language gap crisis in the US and they want to be a part of the solution. So I hope that I've explained the program to you. If I've missed anything, please feel free to contact us at any time. You can also send an email to abroad@acelaspanish.com or hola at Shadow Abroad Foundation, sorry.com. All right, those are the messages there. Again, I see a lot of you writing your emails in the chat box and we will get to you as soon as possible. Our advisors are happy to contact you and give you all of the information. Hopefully I didn't miss too much, but we're really happy to have you. Thank you so much and I hope to see some of you in Latin America very soon. All right, take care. Ciao. Buenas noches.
Bye.